Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Hello, how is everyone today?
Hey Zainab.
Hello, Nadia. Nadia, can you check that the participants are able to use the chat box?
Absolutely, sure.
Great. Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me today. Let me just, can you all see my screen?
One
Nadia,
second.
can you see the
Yes, we can
screen?
see the screen, and they should be able to send anything they want in the chat now.
Okay, excellent, great. Okay, so yes, I can see all your messages. Hello, hello. Thank you all very much for joining. My name is Zeinab Shebani. I am based in Libya and I work as an e-moderator and teacher trainer for the British Council. I think some of you might already know me from Speaking Club or from some of the WhatsApp sessions that we run for the MENA region. Today, I will be hosting this webinar called Engage, Enhance, Empower, revisiting key topics for secondary teachers. Nadia here is going to help me. I think some of you also know Nadia from some of our sessions. She also works for the British Council as an e-moderator.
Hey guys.
So yes, say hello, Nadia.
Hey
Okay, so
guys, so happy to be here. Go ahead.
now that we've introduced ourselves, if you can tell us where you are joining us from. Okay, so let's see which countries are joining us today. You're all writing so quickly, it's difficult for me to keep up. So we've got Lebanon, Oman, Iraq, Morocco, Bahrain, Egypt, wow, London, Libya, Riyadh, Qatar, Algeria. Sorry if Cape Town, Tunisia, Saudi Arabia, Kurdistan, all right, Kuwait, Egypt, Kurdistan again, great. Iraq, South Africa. So it's not really just the MENA region. We've become international. Great. Libya, Dubai, Muscat, Oman. Hello, Nabil from Yemen. One of our uh, participants from when we first started. Thank you for joining. Jordan, Yemen, Qatar, Riyadh. Great. So we've got lots of countries. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to give you an idea of what we're going to do in today's webinar. First of all, I will introduce the secondary teachers group. I will tell you a little bit about this group. We have a number of WhatsApp groups. We have one for writing, we have one for the primary teachers, we have one for teacher educators, we have the speaking club. So the secondary group is one of these groups, and I will just give you an idea of what it's about. I will also share with you our highlights from October and November. So basically the topics that we covered during the past 2 months. We will look at the session on teaching language through nature. So I'll tell you a little bit about that session and also share some of the participants' views. So a little bit about what our participants shared with us in that session. The other session we'll be looking at is enhancing speaking skills through debates and discussions. This was another session that we did during the month of November. Again, I will share with you some of the insights and views of our participants. And we will look at the session from October, reflective teaching practices and participants' views. Again, also cultural connections and participants' views. Once we go through these sessions, I will talk a little bit about the professional development opportunities that we have for you, basically from the Teaching English website, and then some of the groups that we still have open. And I will also be letting you know, I will also let you know which groups we plan to open in the future. And finally, I will give you the link so you can download your certificate for attending today's session, and we can say our farewells. Okay. Yeah, don't worry. We're going to share everything um, in the chat box. We'll send you the links that you need. That's why we have Nadia. She's going to be sending you everything you need, inshallah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yes. All right. So first thing, I'd like to know who here is already a member of in the group, the secondary teachers group. So I'm going to launch a poll, and I just want you to click yes or no. Okay, so you should be seeing the poll soon. Okay. Sorry, let me just do this again. Okay, I don't know why it's not working for me.
It's already been running since the beginning of the session,
Is
and
it?
you have 113 people who already answered.
Okay, great. I
I
didn't
can
know that.
definitely share
Sorry.
the results for you.
Okay, yes, please do that, Nadia. Sorry, this is why I need Nadia. She's the always helps with the technology. Yeah, great.
There you go.
Thank you.
Can you see it?
Oh, this is the wrong one though. This is, I
Okay.
want the other one. Can you share
All
that
right.
one?
The other one would
Can we
be
end this?
poll one. Yes, I
Yes,
ended that
poll one. If you can end this one and share the other one.
one. Okay. And you should be able to see it now.
Okay, great. Sorry about that mix-up. If you can just tell us if you are already a member or not. Okay, so we have a good number of members. Excellent. So already 30 of you have said that you're members. 31, good. All right, great. So we have more than half have already answered. Good, so we have 36 who are members, 73 who aren't. Okay, so I think most of you have answered. So I think I'll end the poll now. And let's share the results. So if you can see the results here, so far we have 38 are members and 77 are not. So it's nice to see that there are a lot of people here who will benefit a lot from understanding what we've done and what this group is about. Okay, so let's go back to our session. I'm now going to tell you what the secondary teachers group is. So the secondary teachers group is a WhatsApp community. So we're actually on WhatsApp. It's not on Zoom. So it's not a face-to-face discussion. It's a WhatsApp discussion. So it's a WhatsApp community where teachers from MENA, Middle East, and North Africa, not so much from MENA anymore. You can see we had a lot of other countries as well. From the MENA region, they come together weekly to explore topics inspired by Teaching English free open courses. So there are free courses on the Teaching English website. I think a lot of you are already aware of these courses. We will talk about them at the end of today's session as well. So what we do in this WhatsApp group is we pick topics from these free sessions that are running. So there's free courses. They run usually every 2 months. There are new courses. So we pick topics from the courses that are running during those months, and we have weekly discussions on WhatsApp. So the group focuses on empowering teachers of secondary students by discussing innovative strategies, practical solutions, and best practices tailored to this age group. So we're focusing mainly on secondary students and what would work for secondary students. So teachers who teach secondary students, this group would be a great way where you can exchange your experiences, share ideas, and collaborate to enhance teaching skills and student engagement. So what's nice about it is that a lot of the input in this WhatsApp group is from the participants themselves. It's a way where you can share what goes on in your classroom, some of the methods that have worked for you, the challenges that you face, how you can solve them, practical tips. So it's just a great way that you can just discuss whatever it is that you want to talk about. And you just gain so much knowledge from other teachers as well. All right, so I'm going to give you an idea of what topics we did in the months of November and October. So in November, we did a session on teaching language through nature, and this was kind of inspired from the climate change course from the Teaching English website. We also did a session on engaging activities for secondary students, and we did one on enhancing speaking skills through debates and discussions. As for October, we did a session on reflective teaching practices, practical reading skills, approaches to teaching grammar, and a very interesting, fun session on cultural connections as well. Now, I wish I had time to discuss all of these topics with you today. Unfortunately, we don't have the time to talk about all of them, so I have to choose some of the topics. I will have to pick and choose. I chose the most popular ones, the ones I thought were the most popular. So we will only be discussing some of these topics, not all of them. Now, before we do discuss, I just want to launch another poll. And here, I want you to tell us which topic or topics, so you can choose more than one, that you have found most impactful in your teaching recently. Now, this is mainly for the members. Okay, so for the members, if you are already a member, which session did you find most beneficial? I'm going to launch the poll, and I'd like the members to let us know which ones they thought were the most beneficial or impacted their teaching the most. Remember, you can choose more than one. Now, those of you who are not members, don't worry. I have another question for you after the members do the poll. So I will launch the poll. Now, do you want to do it for me? In case I'm not able to do it like last time?
No problem. Sure. It's poll number 2.
Poll 2, yes.
And you should be able to see it now.
Yes. Okay. So sorry, some of you had already answered these, but you can do that again. Okay, great. So I can see enhancing speaking skills through debates and discussions is quite high. Engaging activities for secondary students as well. Approaches to teaching grammar. Great, excellent. Okay. So I'm glad to see that engaging activities for secondary enhancing speaking skills through debates and discussions is something that you found most beneficial, because we're going to talk about that this one in today's session, today's webinar. All right, great. So we're going to end the poll. I'll share the results with you. All right, so we can see that the two sessions that you found most impactful were engaging activities for teaching for secondary students and enhancing speaking skills through debates and discussions, also practical reading skills and approaches to teaching grammar. Thank you. Okay, so for those who are not members, if you are not a member, which session do you wish you had attended? All right, so I'm going to go back and share this slide with you. And you can just share with us in the chat box which session or sessions you wish you had attended. Okay, so those non-members, if you can share with us in the group, just you can just, sorry, I should have put numbers. It would have been easier. Okay, good. Cultural connections, enhancing speaking skills. The second one, enhancing speaking skills, engaging activities. Session number 1 for November. All of them. Teaching languages through nature, reflective teaching practices. All right, Besma here says she attended some and she missed some. Approaches to teaching grammar, reading skills. Good, so I think most of them were mentioned. But I think most of you are enhancing speaking skills and engaging activities tend to be the most popular. Great, excellent. All right, thank you so much for sharing your ideas with us. Now let's move on to the important part. We're going to talk a little bit about the What's Up discussions that I'm going to focus on for today's webinar. Okay, so for November, the 2 sessions that I've chosen were teaching language through nature and enhancing speaking skills through debates and discussions. These are the 2 that we'll be talking about in today's webinar. And for the October sessions, we have reflective teaching practices, and hopefully we will have time for cultural connections. Okay, so I was being a bit hopeful when I added that slide, but I will try my best to cover cultural connections as well, depending on how much time we have left when we get to that slide. Okay, so teaching language through nature. Now, nature is a very broad topic. From the picture I have here on the slide, which part of nature do you think I was focusing on in this session? Okay, so by just looking at the picture, yeah, natural disasters, space, tornado, weather, again, natural disasters, weather. Excellent. I mean, yeah, you got them right. Basically, weather and natural disasters. Those were the 2, the angle I was focusing on when I did this session. So we were looking mainly at language that was related to weather and natural disasters. So our key points covered. First of all, we focused on weather idioms. We spoke, the very beginning of the session, we spoke about weather idioms. We also did some activities on weather idioms. Before I show you what we did, do you like teaching idioms and why? Let us know whether you like teaching idioms to your students or not. Okay, so we have yes, yes, definitely. Okay, Hanan here says no. Yes, another no. Okay, yes, I love idioms. Great. Yes, they're practical. Okay, good. Most of you said yes. There were some no's. Hopefully, after I show you what we did, you will change your mind about teaching idioms. So I think they could be quite fun. Okay, so the activities we did with the idioms related to weather was we completed the idioms. So we did an activity on completing the idioms, and then we also did another activity where we matched the idioms with their definitions. I will share with you some links. Well, Nadia will. After I explain what we did, I'll tell Nadia to share the links with you so that you can also try these activities yourself. Okay, I can see some people raise their hands. Unfortunately, I don't think you can speak during this webinar. So if you have any questions or anything you'd like to say, please write it in the chat box.
Or
Okay,
in the
so if
Q&A
we,
as well.
okay, oh yes, or in the Q&A. Okay, so if we have our first example here. If you can complete this idiom for me. So the blank before the storm, what's the word that goes here? Excellent. Okay, so I can see most of you got it correct. So the calm. There's some of you who say silence. Okay, but yes, calm is the correct answer. The calm before the storm. Let's do another one. Blank the weather. What's the missing word here? Okay, so we have under, we have over as well. Okay, good. Under. Most of you have under, which is correct. Okay, under the weather. Okay, what does it mean when we say under the weather? Okay, very good. Salim here says means you're sick. Good. Yeah, so it's not related to weather at all. It uses, words from weather, but it doesn't have anything to do with it. It just means that you're sick. Okay, great. So this was one of the activities we did. We did, just gap filling, completing the idioms. We also spoke a little bit about some of the idioms that are similar in your in some of the participants L1. So, there was some that were similar, for example, in Arabic. In English and in Arabic, they were the same thing, subtranslated. We also did some teachings. We also spoke about teaching strategies when it comes to teaching idioms. So we did a word wall on matching the idioms with their definitions. So after we did the gap fill, we wanted to make sure that everyone, we want to make sure that everyone actually understands the meaning of the idioms. So we did an activity where students had to match the idiom with its meaning. So there's a link to the word wall. Nadia, if you can share that in the chat box. You can try that in your own time. Please don't try it now. Complete the session and then you can try it in your free time later. So this is a word wall with the idioms and their definitions. We also looked at a video. So I can see Nadia has just posted the link. So if you can copy and paste that and share and save it somewhere so you can look at it later. We also did a video on how to teach idioms or fun ways to teach idioms. And I also have this video ready for Nadia to share. And one thing I really liked about the video, or the key takeaway that we actually got from this video, was that when it comes to idioms, a good way to teach idioms is to do it in themes, like we did in this session. So we spoke about idioms which had words about weather. Okay, so you can teach weather idioms, you can teach food idioms, such as piece of cake. You can teach sport idioms, such as stay ahead of the game. So any idiom that's related to a specific theme, and then that's how you can teach your students. One thing I really liked about the video was that she also gave us some ideas on how you can, do some motivating activities with idioms. For example, asking students to draw the idiom. So when for the weather idiom, it's raining cats and dogs, you can actually have the students, draw a picture of somebody holding an umbrella with cats and dogs falling from the sky. So there was some really nice tips and fun ideas that you can do with idioms. So Nadia, if you can share that video as well, so they can watch that again in your free time. Okay, thank you, Nadia. All right, another thing we looked at were natural disasters. Okay, so we discussed strategies for incorporating natural disaster topics into lessons. We focused on what kind of vocabulary and language we can use with natural disasters. So for example, keywords such as earthquake, flood, volcanic eruption, hurricane, the key words related to natural disaster. And then also adjectives such as severe, moderate, destructive. So the adjectives that would describe these natural disasters, and then conditionals and models such as giving safety instructions. So, if you are if you experience an earthquake, you shouldn't or you mustn't. So these kind of these kind of language structures that you would teach students. So there's so much language you can get from just talking about natural disasters. And there's so many, so there's vocabulary, there's keywords, there's grammatical structures that they can learn as well. So we focused a little bit on the vocabulary and the language that they can use. And then also we talked about the different kind of activities they can do as well. So using visuals. So for example, the picture that I have here, you can show them a picture similar to this one and ask them to explain it, describe it, say what's happening, storytelling. And we actually did something similar in the session. We asked participants to say which natural disaster they experienced and how they felt about it. So we also had some, participants talk about an earthquake they experienced or a flood and how they felt. So they also used some adjectives, they used some structure, vocabulary words that were related to natural disasters. You just want to be careful when you ask students to talk about traumatizing events. Make sure that, if anyone feels uncomfortable discussing it, you just let them know that they don't have to. Role playing, and one of the suggestions that I liked from one of the teachers who joined the session was to act as a news reporter and to explain or describe a natural disaster that's happening. Group projects, one of the group projects that were mentioned were creating posters related to how to prepare yourself for natural disasters. That was a great idea. Also geography activities such as looking at different, countries and discussing well-known natural disasters that happened in that place. So for example, the tsunami that happened in Indonesia. So talking about well-known natural disasters that happened in different places in the world. And then finally, also showing students videos on natural disasters and then having them do some kind of task. Nadia, I think there's a video there on earthquakes that we did in the session. So you can ask students to watch it, and then you can ask them to complete a task related to the video. So if you can share that video with them, thank you, Nadia.
It's in the chat.
Yes, great. Okay, so we have someone who says that there's a cyclone happening in Bangladesh right now. Oh, sorry to hear that. Hope you're safe. Okay, so this was basically what we did during that session. Now what I want to do is share some of the interesting things our participants said in this session. So some of you are going to be mentioned by name. If you are here attending, please, raise your hand, give us a thumbs up, send a heart, let us know that you're there. So first of all, we have Nabila Dahmoun, Fatima Al-Qadri, and Basma Aghrebi, who expressed interest in incorporating weather idioms as a fun and engaging classroom activity. So they really enjoyed, incorporating weather idioms into the classroom and motivating students because it was just fun and engaging. So yes, those of you who were mentioned, if you're there. Oh, there's Nabila. Hello. Basma, is that yes? Basma as well. Okay. Also Nabil and Nahari, I think you're here as well. I saw your name earlier. Nabil, you there? Okay. And Mushira Qasim highlighted the importance of connecting nature with English lessons to enhance relevance and engagement. And yes, I think this is also important to connect, nature is a very important part of our life. And there's so much language and information and knowledge that we can learn from it. So just incorporating it into our language lessons is great, because not only do they get the language, they also become, just the general knowledge that they gain from it, and the experience they gain from it is good. Muna, Rawat, and Randa. Sorry, Randa, I'm not sure which Randa. There was no surname given. So Munarawat and Randa noted the value of linking topics from science, geography, and language to create a more holistic learning experience. And this is actually an important point, because I think a lot of schools are doing this nowadays where they're linking other subjects to English. So, we've incorporated in science, we incorporated geography in English just by doing activities related to nature, but then also still learning English at the same time. We have Thana Al-Hawari, Malak Al-Gabsi, and Nadia Trabilsi, who shared ideas for interactive tasks, including group projects and creative activities like disaster preparedness posters. So I mentioned earlier about disaster preparedness posters. I really like that idea. You can put students in groups, and each group prepares a poster on a specific natural disaster. One group does earthquakes, another group does floods, another group does hurricane, and then you have, how to prepare yourself for many disasters, all from the same class. And finally, we have Ruwaida Nazdif and Samah Barakat, who emphasized using engaging warm-ups to set the tone for lessons and increase student involvement. So this was because we used the weather idioms as a warm-up for the session, and it got them motivated and engaged and excited them to attend the rest of the session. So they realized the importance of this, doing something engaging at the beginning of the session or at the beginning of their lessons. Okay, great. So I can see a lot of you are saying hello or got a thumbs up because your name was mentioned. Okay.
Zainab, others are
Yes.
saying that the links are not showing because other people are writing, so they disappear
All right.
very easily. So I'm going to write it one more time. I'm going to type
Yeah,
them
go ahead.
all three together in one message.
Put all three
Trio
together,
and
and they
earthquake.
can
They're there,
copy and paste.
right there. They should be able to see them.
Yes, great. So they're all there right now. If nobody can write in the chat for the next couple of seconds so that everybody gets a chance to copy and paste them. Okay, great. Okay, so that is our first topic. Let's now move on to enhancing speaking skills through debates and discussions. Let's look at our key takeaways for this session. All right, so before I show you, could you just tell me in the chat box, what is your favorite debate topic? What do you like? What topic do you usually choose when you ask your students to do a debate or a discussion? Okay, so we have climate, fast food, sports, social media, soft skills. Good. Nice topics. History, life experiences, traditional and online learning, climate and technology, healthy habits. I like that one. Should women work or not? I wonder how that would play out in the classroom. Life values, science fiction, good. Social media again, art and health, space exploration. Great. These are actually great topics for secondary students. Projects. Okay, social traditions. Sorry, I can't read everything because the chat is just moving so quickly. Religious topics, use of ChatGPT, bullying, good. Values. What would we do if we didn't have mobiles, school uniforms, AI, cyberbullying, homework, technology? Great. Yes, I think these are all very interesting topics for secondary students. Robots, okay, and English as a second language, all right. Peer pressure, great. Wow, these are great topics. All right, thank you very much for sharing your topics with me. Let's now look at benefits of debates. All right, so if you can just share just quickly again in the chat box, what do we benefit from debates? Or what do students benefit from the debates? So try to think more of outside of just, speaking and, getting practice their speaking. Creative thinking, good. Their speaking skills, brainstorming, confidence, critical thinking, they gain knowledge. Excellent. Accepting other points of views, yes. Teamwork, fluency, develops their confidence. It gives them patience. All right. Tolerance, nice. Sharing ideas, team collaboration, flexibility. Good, good. I like how you're all thinking out the box. So yeah, what you mentioned, I think I have most, some of them here. So first of all, obviously it improves their speaking, critical thinking, as a lot of you mentioned, their confidence, teamwork, and cultural awareness. There are so many great benefits, when it comes to debates, and especially at that critical age, at the age secondary students are in, they need these skills. And debates can teach them these skills. If they are done properly, of course, they can teach them these skills that basically are life skills that will help them, in their future. Okay, so, like I said, debates, if done properly, have so many great benefits. What are some of the challenges that we might face when we, ask our students to discuss, a topic or ask them to do a debate? So if you can just tell me the challenge and then maybe also let me know what you do to solve that challenge as well. Okay, so we have feeling shy. Time, that's a good one. Yes, I think a lot of us don't have enough time to do debates in the classroom. Okay, too much noise. Students lacking confidence. Lack of background knowledge. Yeah, that's also a problem as well. The level of their students, they don't have enough information. They don't have the vocabulary. Good. Lack of ideas. Lack of vocabulary. Shy students. The time again. Mhm. Great, great, excellent. Yes, these are all common challenges. Let's look at what we have here. First of all, we have dominance. I'm not sure if anybody mentioned dominance. Like I said, the chat is just moving so quickly. I'm trying to catch whatever you're saying, but dominance, student dominance is one. Some students are stronger or more confident than others, and they tend to dominate the discussions and the debates. So a solution for that is to set time limits. Make sure that every student only speaks during the time that they are allowed to speak. So you can do that by setting some time or telling, somebody to watch the time. Everyone has 30 seconds or each person has 1 minute, for example. Personal arguments, debates can cause a lot of arguments, especially if students are not respecting each other's opinions. So you need to enforce rules. Basically, you also need to explain the importance of accepting other people's opinions, not getting upset if people have different opinions to yourself. It doesn't mean that they're wrong. It just means that they think in a slightly different way. Low participation. So students not actually speaking. And a lot of you mentioned that students don't have the vocabulary and they don't have background knowledge. Well, first of all, solutions for this is that for the vocabulary, you want to choose a topic that is something that they can relate to, something that they have information about. You want to make sure that it's a topic they already know things about. And then you want to give them some vocabulary. So you want to make sure that they have the vocabulary they need in order to speak, and then maybe also give them prompts. So you need to give them sentence stems, the beginning of sentences, so they know how to begin their sentence. And then you can also brainstorm ideas with them before they have the debate. So there can already be ideas on the board, along with vocabulary words and sentence stems, so some prompts that they can use. This would make it so much easier for them. So if you have a weaker class where students don't say much, they don't have much to say, you need to give them that support by basically giving them the language they need, giving them the sentence prompts, and just showing them, giving them that support so that they know how to form sentences and express their opinion. All right, now when it comes to choosing topics, like I mentioned, you need to make sure that students can relate to the topic. You need to make sure that it's age appropriate, aligned with interests and language level. Okay, so you want to make sure that they're interested in as well, and that it's at their level of English. So you don't want to choose a topic that's boring or uninteresting to them, or too advanced, something that they can't really talk about, has vocabulary that or grammatical structures that they can't really use. And then you also want to make sure that it's age appropriate. You wouldn't use the same topic for first and second graders that you would use with, 13, 14, 15-year-old kids in secondary school. And finally here, for supporting shy students, we can assign simpler roles. We can pair them with peers. We can encourage with positive feedback. And these are some of the insights from the participants during the session. So these were some of the ideas. You give them roles that are more simple than, the more advanced students in the classroom. You can pair them with someone so that they can help. And then positive feedback, encourage them. That positive feedback really makes a difference. It really is motivating and gives them that confidence. Now, the activities that we did in this session was we looked at functional language. So language you would use to agree or disagree. We discussed that a little bit. And then we also did a debate role play where I would give them a statement and the participants would say whether they agreed or disagreed. And then they would give their reasoning as well. And we looked at a video that showed us how to do that. This was a very interesting video. It's also good to probably show it to students as well, because it shows you that when you are doing a debate, not only do you give your opinion, but then you should also say why you have this opinion. You need to, show your reasoning as well. So Nadia, if you can share that video with them.
It's in the chat
Okay,
box.
great, Nadia, thank you. So Nadia has posted that. You can copy and paste this video. All right, now for the fun part, let's see what our participants have said about our discussion questions in this session. So these were the questions that we discussed in the session, and these are their exact words, actually. So what are the benefits of classroom debates and discussions? Here we have Suha Hudayfi. I love this comment, becoming tolerant to opposing views. It's so important that students at this age learn this skill, to become tolerant to other people's views, to understand that other people might have different views to them. So not only are they learning a language, practicing the English, but they are also learning a life skill that will help them in their future. So Suha, if you're there, please say hello. Rihab Fuad also said something similar, to become open-minded. I learn how to resolve conflicts and raise self-esteem. Excellent. So yes, you do become more open-minded when you hear all the different views other people have. And especially with secondary school students, at that early teenage years, they haven't really seen or heard many other opinions that are different from theirs, because they don't mix. They mainly mix with people who share the same opinions. So it's really good for them to see that there are people out there who do have different opinions. Now, in our next question, we had, how do you pick good topics for debates in the classroom? Dehab here said, choose a topic that might show different perspectives. So I really like this as well. The more disagreement you have in a debate, the more interesting it is. So you don't want to choose a topic where you know everyone is going to agree with it or everyone is going to disagree. You want to choose a topic that students are going to have very different views on, and they're going to disagree with each other, and that's what makes it interesting. Another question was, what can teachers do to help shy students join a debate? And here we have Nabila. So Nabila, I know you're there if you want to say hello. Provide sentence stems and brainstorm the topic before starting the debate. So I spoke a little bit about this earlier. Yes, give them the prompts they need, brainstorm ideas with them as well. Ilmas, not sure if you're there. You can say hello. Encourage judgment-free participation and ensure kindness and respect. So we do have sometimes students who don't speak, not because they're shy, but maybe because they are afraid to give their opinion. So we want to make sure that we encourage, we provide an environment where students don't feel judged and can easily share their opinion without, anyone making them feel like they said something wrong. So we need to instill this in our students. We want to ensure that everyone is kind and respectful to everyone else and everyone else's opinions. And finally, our last question here was, what problems might happen during a debate and how can teachers fix them? So this was one of the perspectives that I liked. Fatima Al-Qadri here said, some students might talk too much and not let others share their ideas. We can use a system like a talking stick to ensure everyone gets a chance to speak. So I really like this. You give the students something to hold in their hand, and only that person who's holding the stick or whatever it is that you want to give them can speak. Anyone who does not have that item in their hand cannot speak. So that kind of makes sense. It doesn't have to be a stick. It could be a pencil. It could be a marker, whatever you want to use. But you tell them that whoever has this item in their hand, they can speak, so that other people don't interrupt each other. Okay. All right. Someone here said a ball. Yeah, you can use that too. Okay, so that is we unfortunately we're not going to have time for both reflective teaching practices and cultural connections. Which one do you guys want? You let me know. Cultural connections or reflective teaching practices, just to save time. If you want reflective teaching practices, write R. If you want cultural connections, write C, and I'll just see which one I see more of.
I think I'll create a
Oh,
poll and it would be
oh no,
easier
I've
because
got R.
it's
It's
hard.
clear. Everyone wants R. We'll do
Okay, all
reflective
right then.
teaching. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we'll look at reflective teaching practices. It's very few said cultural connections. Okay, so let's look at cultural reflective teaching practices. Okay, so here I'm just going to give you a quick definition of reflective practices involves teachers analyzing their teaching experiences to improve effectiveness and foster growth. So basically, reflecting on what you did in the classroom, looking back, thinking about, analyzing what happened in the classroom, what went well, what didn't go so well, and the purpose behind it, the intention behind it is to improve so that your next lesson is better. Your future lessons are better. Now, I have a quick question for you. How often do you reflect? After every lesson, weekly, monthly, never? Let us know in the chat box. Yeah, self-reflection. So basically looking back at your teaching, what you did in the classroom. Okay, so we have a lot who are saying weekly. Some are saying after every lesson. Amazing, excellent. Okay, good, good. Daily. Excellent. So, I mean, daily and weekly. I think that's mainly what I've seen. No one said never. I'm glad to see that no one said never. Okay, some say after every lesson. That's amazing. Excellent, great. So, I mean, just the fact that you reflect shows that, you are on the right path. You are trying to improve. You, are trying to be better as a teacher. So knowing that you actually think about what you do and think about what could have been better or what did go well so that you can repeat it again, says a lot about who you are as a teacher. Okay, so importance. Who can tell me why it's important to reflect? Okay, so just quickly giving some of the reasons why it's important to reflect. Okay, someone here says that she reflects sometimes while students are doing the activity. Excellent. So during the lesson, good. All right, self-growth, motivation, to plan for the next lesson. Good, to improve, to enhance, to evaluate, to know what you achieved. Good, good, good. Yeah. To give more, to evaluate. To know your weaknesses and your strengths. To make the lessons, future lessons better. To overcome your weaknesses. To develop. Excellent. Yes. Great answers. So let's see what I have here. I think pretty much what you said. Enhances self-awareness, teaching strategies and student engagement, supports emotional well-being and professional development. Okay, so it's such an easy way to improve as a teacher, and you just need to really think. I mean, just reflection at at its simplest level is just thinking, really. Oh, I shouldn't have done this. Oh, I should have done that. Okay, there are other ways, but if you just think a little bit at the end of each lesson, reflect on what you did, then you're on the right track. All right, let's look at some of the tools. So we can use journals. Some teachers write like a diary. So basically you write about your lesson, what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it, what you want to do next time, what you should have changed. Peer observations are also great ways to improve. So you can have a colleague observe you, and then you can observe a colleague as well. So you get ideas, they get ideas as well. You share ideas with each other, and then at the same time, you can help each other with your weaknesses. Video recordings, so recording yourself and then watching yourself teach is also a great way to reflect. And I think it's quite easy nowadays. You can use your phone, just set your phone in the classroom and start recording, and then you can watch it in whatever time, in whatever free time that you have. Nadia, we have a video, I think, that talks about the different tools and methods that you can.
It's in the chat box.
Thank you. So you can watch that in your free time. It has a number of ideas to self-reflect. All right, challenges. Now, time, basically. A lot of teachers don't have time to self-reflect, to write in a journal, to observe another teacher. But like I said, so somebody mentioned earlier, while the students are doing an activity, I'm like, oh, maybe I should have said this, or maybe I should have done that. So like I said, just keep it basic. If you are short on time and you don't have time to observe other teachers or to create a video of yourself or to record yourself and watch it, just use your thinking time in the car while students are doing an activity. Just constantly think about what happened in the classroom. And I think that sometimes is enough. It's better than not doing anything. Resistance to change. Some teachers don't want to change. They think that they're happy. They're happy with the way they've been teaching. They've been teaching the same way maybe for years, and there's this resistance to change. And because there's so many new developments, methods, strategies that come out, as a teacher, we do need to develop and keep up to date as well. Also, feedback discomfort. Some teachers don't take, we can try to say, it should be constructive criticism. They don't take it too well. So these are some of the challenges teachers might face. They don't want to hear any negative feedback about their teaching. So they tend not to do peer observations, for example, or have someone observe their lesson, or record themselves and see what they're, because when you see, it's very different than when you're actually teaching. You might actually notice some of your weaknesses that you're not aware of. So these are some of the challenges that teachers need to overcome in order to be able to reflect on their teaching in a more effective way. All right, and some of the activities that we did in this session was we did a quick entry to a journal on a recent lesson. So I asked the participants to just write a short paragraph on a recent lesson that they did, what went well and what didn't go well. And then we also responded to some scenarios. So basically something that happened in the classroom, what would you do, or what would you do differently in future lessons because this happened in this class, in this lesson. So let's look at an example. This is one of the scenarios. It was during a group discussion, you notice that a few students dominate the conversation while others remain silent. How would you address the imbalance in student participation in future lessons? Okay, so before I show you what some of the participants in the group said, why don't you tell me how you would deal with this? What would you do in future lessons? Samah here is asking if you will send the recording of this. Yes, once the recording is ready, I think, Nadi, is it posted on the Facebook group? I think it's posted on the Facebook group.
Which one?
This recording, they're asking about this session.
This recording will be posted once it's edited within a week, 10 days max, and it'll be on our
Okay.
Facebook group, which I'll share at the very end. I'll share the link too.
Great, excellent. Okay. Assign time and task for every individual. Good. Respectfully ask them to give the chance to their mates. Set a time limit. Give clear instructions. Good. Ask them a question about the lesson. Give them more time. Talking stick. Yes. One of my favorites, talking sticks. Okay, excellent. Ask everyone for their opinion and then all of them share something. Okay. Set rules. Good. Excellent ideas. Let's see what our participants said in this session. We had Sahar Amir said, I sometimes use a ball to let dominant students nominate someone else to answer. Okay, so I like this idea because she is giving dominant students the control that they want by giving them the ball, but then they choose who is going to speak. So the dominant students aren't speaking the whole time. You give them a ball and you say, okay, here's a ball. Thank you for, your opinion. Can you please throw this to someone else so that they get a chance to speak? Nabila Dahmoon, I would assign a role for each member of the group and set time, for example, 1 minute for each member to speak. Okay, so assigning roles and then also setting time is also a great way to ensure that everybody gets the opportunity to speak. Okay, so yes, that is reflective teaching practices. Sorry about the cultural connections. I didn't think we would have time for it, but I do want to share what our participants said when we asked them to share a personal cultural experience or a memory of a time they learned something new about another culture. So here, Amr Subhan, who lives in Oman, said, I tried Omani coffee and dates, learning how these simple treats are a symbol of hospitality and friendship in Omani culture. So yes, I agree, Amr. I lived in Oman as well. I travel there often, and it's the simplicity of dates and the Omani coffee that shows how hospitable these people are. Basma here says the fact that women give dowry to men in India. Okay, and here, unfortunately, I really liked what this person had to say, but they did not have a name. They just had a number. So I don't know who you are, but thank you for sharing this with us. During my visit to Turkey, I found it amusing that Turkish people have a playful superstition about spilling water behind someone who is leaving on a trip. It is believed to ensure a smooth and safe journey. Okay, so thank you for those who shared these interesting facts with us. All right, so that brings me to the end of the topics we spoke about, or we did in the secondary group during the months of October and November. I now want to show you some of the opportunities that, professional development opportunities that you can do with teaching English. So here we have the Teaching English website, okay? So what is happening in teaching English in December and January? We have 4 courses running during these months. Some of the courses started a couple of months ago, so I think some of you have already joined them and are not finished with them yet. One of them is Climate Action in the Language Education. So this is the link for it. Nadia will share all of the links for all of the all 4 courses. So one of them is Climate Action in the Language Education. Another one is Teaching English, Assessing Learning. So both of these, they're open until the 24th of March. So you can join now, and you have until the 24th of March to complete them. Now, we also have 2 other courses that are starting at the beginning of December. So we have Teaching English Communication Skills. This one doesn't start until the 4th of December, so just in a couple of days. You can join now. It says enroll now. So if you want, you can enroll in it today if you want, and then it will start on the 4th of December. Another one is Making Time for Research in the English Classroom. This one starts on the 3rd of December. So again, in a couple of days, and you can enroll in it now if you want to. So these are all of the links. I think Nadia already shared them. So you can copy and paste the links now, and you can join whichever one you want. Now, if you're having problems joining these courses, or if you're not sure how to join, we have a group that will show you how to join these courses. You can join this group, and I'm going to share that with you now. So here we have the community of practice groups. These are the WhatsApp groups and our speaking club group. All right, these are the ones that we have running now. So the first one is free online course support. This is the group that shows you how to join the courses. So if you want support to join the courses on the Teaching English website, so the ones that I just showed you, you can join this group. Nadia will share the link with you in the chat box. The other groups we have are teaching primary, we have teaching secondary, teacher education, teaching writing, and teaching with technology. Now, unfortunately, all of these groups are full at the moment. However, we do have new groups opening soon. So if you are interested in joining teaching secondary, just stay tuned. We will be opening one soon, and you
Actually,
can join that then. Yeah.
you don't mind, Zainab, we just opened the secondary teachers too, and a primary too as well, and they're both in the
Oh,
chat box.
great. Thank you, Nadia. I wasn't aware of that.
No problem.
That's why we need Nadia in all of these sessions. She has information we don't have sometimes. Okay, great. So Nadia has posted now the links to the groups. So is there secondary there? Yes, there's secondary teachers too. Excellent. So those of you who want to join the teaching secondary, you can join that now if you like. And we will be opening the group soon, and we'll be having sessions similar to what I just showed you here in today's webinar. Okay,
There's also a primary teachers 3 group as well that's recently
great.
open, and it's available for everyone to join.
Excellent, great. Okay, and then there's also Speaking Club 4. There is still lots of space in Speaking Club 4. Speaking Clubs 1, 2, and 3 are closed. Speaking Club 4 is still open. And don't worry, we're doing the same thing in all Speaking Club groups. So you're not missing out. If you're not in Speaking Club 1 or Speaking Club 2, we're all doing the exact same thing. Same thing with teaching secondary 1 and 2. It's the same topics. So you don't need to be in both groups. You just need to be in one. All right, so you have the links. You can join whatever group you are interested in.
I've also just shared the link for your certificate for this webinar. So if they'd like to do that as well.
Yes. I'll also show you how to download it in a minute. Did you share this link, Nadia? The Facebook group. You can also
Yes,
join the
our
Facebook group.
LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, they're all in the same post right now. If you can look at the chat box, right there, they're all together.
Great. Excellent. Okay. So you have also the link for the Facebook group if you are interested in joining the Facebook group. We talk about if there are any events happening. You can find links there. You'll find the recording for this webinar as well once we upload it. So click on the link and join the group. And finally, how can you download your certificate for this webinar? Okay, so you have the link. These are just a few instructions so that you don't have any problems when to get your certificate. Use a laptop, not a phone. Okay, so if you try to download it from your phone, it probably won't work. Get access to a laptop so you can download it. Make sure you have Adobe Reader. Okay, so you do need Adobe in order to download this certificate, and then click on the link that we provided you with, and then there will be space where you can, I think it says insert name. You just need to remove that and write your name, and then just save it on your laptop. That's all you need to do. Okay, so hopefully that won't be a problem. And I think the link is okay. Has anyone tried opening the link? I tried opening it earlier and it was fine. It opens.
I can show them that it works.
Yeah.
Like it still works and it works fine. If they'd like. If you
I
don't
think
mind
there
waiting for a
is,
sec.
yeah. I think there is edit access. Or
There
is
is,
there?
because if you
Yeah.
see, if you can see right now, there's also the feedback form. Let's remind them to do that. But if they'd like to look at the certificate. So the certificate, very simply, if you can see my screen right now, this is what the certificate looks like. Very simply, all you need to do is write down your name and click on file and download. Very simply. It does not, as you can see, there are over 56 people over here getting their certificates, as it does not require permission from anyone. It's a Word,
Okay.
it's a Google Doc, so it is accessible to everyone. It's not restricted, so anyone with link can access, as you can see again. So just please simply go type your name, download it, and thank you for attending. So the certificate, just you write your name right
So
here.
why are some people saying that it's asking for edit request?
It is not.
It might be available for everyone, but it's not allowing editing permission. Can you just check if it's
if you
viewer
look
or
right here.
editor?
Sure. Let's click the share, because others are anyone with link viewer, anyone with link can be an editor. And I'm updating it. And done. It should be fine now. Can you double check, please?
Okay. All right, great. So for those of you having issues, you might want to try a different device. You might want to try a different browser. Nadia, can you share the link again? I think for the certificate, a lot of them are asking for the link.
Yes, now see, a lot of them are the reason they're viewers, not editors, is because they just changed the whole formatting, and now other people will not be able to.
Okay, because people are changing it.
Yes, people are changing it. So now I will take away their access.
Okay. Great. So I can see that some people have already been able to write their name and save it. Great.
So in order for you to be able to do this, you need to download it and fix it, depending on how you'd like your name to be written. I'm trying to take it back to its original state now.
Okay, yeah, so please don't change the access, just, download it. Yeah, so just download the certificate and then write your name. You probably won't be able to write it if it's still as a Google Doc. You need to download it first. Yeah, so if you can see here the instructions, it says click on this link to download the certificate. So download and then type your name. After you type your name, you can save it. Okay, so I hope that's clear. Thank you, Nadia. If you can just share the link to the certificates one more time. I think a lot of people are asking for the link to the certificate. They didn't get it the first time.
Sure. If you can look at the chat box right now, this is certificate
Yeah.
for him.
Okay.
And here's the certificate for you.
Okay, so for those of you who attended Hind's session but didn't get the certificate, this is Hind's.
And this is
And
Zeinab's.
now, great, and now this is mine.
I also fixed the template that everyone changed, and now it's back to its normal state. So you just need to download it. And after you download it, you can edit it. If you edit the original format, then everyone will not be able to write in their names. So you need to download it the way it is, and then edit it on your own computer and not on our drive.
Yes, so please download it first. Okay, all right, so thank you all very much for attending today's session. It was nice to have you here. And hopefully I will see some of you in the new secondary teachers group that we will plan to open soon, inshallah. Thank you again for joining me. And I will see you in Speaking Club or WhatsApp or maybe another webinar. Have a great evening, everyone. And thank you, Nadia, for all your support.
It's my pleasure.